Okay, we're going to try something new today. Today we are going to begin working with adding and subtracting decimals. Okay, so that's our ultimate goal. You will add and subtract decimals. Okay, while I'm writing that up here, I would like for you to figure out what, using the 10 blocks here, what decimals or expression is being shown. Okay. Okay, I figure you're probably better at the 10 blocks than I am because you've used those for quite some time, correct? All right, so what is the numerical expression that's being modeled with the first one? Desiree?
So is it 1.36?
She says 1. Let's get this fixed. She says 1.36. Okay, this is, how many is on the big one? 100. And then we've got 3 tens. And we have 6 ones. Okay. All right. Now, and that would be plus, what's the second one there then? What's the second one going to be, Josie? 0.82. Okay? And everybody knows where that's coming from. So you guys are kind of teaching me about these base 10 blocks. That's not something that I use a lot. Okay, so technically you're being asked to add 1 36 hundredths plus 82 hundredths. When you add those together, what should you get? When you add those together, what would you get, Chance?
2.80.
Is he correct, class? Okay. How do you know that's right? You added them, okay?
I didn't get that.
Okay. Esri?
I added 136 plus 82, and then I the decimal there.
Okay. So you just added the 136 plus 82 and added the decimal into it. When we add, do we need to make sure that we line up those decimals?
It's 132. 132 and it's 132.
Thank you. It's bad. Anyway, we get it, right?
Yeah.
My eraser's huge. Okay, and then when you get that, you get 200 or 2 and 18 hundredths, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 2 and 2 eighths.
All right. Let's look at that. What is 6 plus 2?
8.
What's 8 plus 3?
11.
Carry the 1.
Oh,
Okay?
I did something.
All right. So this is not something that's going to give you any trouble here, correct? We're good with that. Let's look at the rules. Here's the rules. When you're adding and subtracting decimals, you have to line up that decimal. Now the textbook says to add and subtract decimals, write the numbers vertically and line up the decimal points. Then bring down the decimal point and add or subtract as you would with the whole numbers. Okay? So the textbook is telling you to take that 1.23, I don't know, we're going to come up with some different numbers, and maybe 0.31. And it's saying go ahead and put the decimal in down there, then add them. Okay? It's saying put that in and add those up, and the decimal's already there. I don't do it that way, but I would add them in the same way. I'm going to line them up in the same way, but I do my addition first, and then I bring my decimal down, okay? Is it gonna make a difference which way you do it? No. The only problem I have for me is if I look at this one the way it is, I see that because of where that decimal happened to end up, it looks like it's in between. So to me, that looks more like a multiplication problem because the dot can be used as a multiplication symbol. So I would make sure if you do it this way, that you make sure that when you're in your final answer, that you make sure that you let somebody know that you're not saying 1 times 54. Your final answer, you may have to rewrite it so somebody could see it on your paper without misreading it. Okay, because could that be an issue? All right, so that would be the one thing I would think of, take care of there. All right, so let's add 8 and 1300 and 2 and 7600. When I add these two together, what should I get? What's my final answer there on A? What's my final answer going to be? Jaden? 10 and 89 hundredths. Okay? When we answer the questions and we actually read the number, I want you to read it as the decimal should be read and not 10.89. Because I'm not going to call you Josey. I'm going to call you by your name. So y'all want you to do the same thing with your decimals. So do B. Completely on your own. Do B. Tyler, have you got B done? What'd you get for B?
25.159,000.
Okay, so it's 25 and 159 thousandths. Is that what you got? Okay. Does everybody agree with Tyler? Give me thumbs up if you agree. Thumbs down if you disagree. Okay. Adding decimals. Fist to 5. Adding decimals. Where you think you're to the point where you're ready to practice some of those. All right. Well, let's try. We said today that part of our requirements was you would be adding and you would be subtracting. What do I have to do when I stack these up? What do I have to do, Tyler?
You gotta put the smallest number on bottom.
Okay, that is true. So I've got 5 and 508 thousandths minus 3 and 174 thousandths. Being careful that you line up. You've got to line them up well. And if you can't keep your paper organized and line them up, that's when you can use that graph paper that has those columns for you. Okay? Now, do I subtract just like normal?
Yes.
Sure I do. 8 minus 4 is?
4.
Can I take 7 from nothing?
No.
No, so I have to regroup. 10 minus 7 is?
3.
4 minus 1 is,
3,
keep my decimal, 5 minus 3 is
2.
2. Okay? Can I check subtraction?
Yeah.
How do I check subtraction of decimals? How do I check it, Chloe?
You do 5 and 508 thousandths plus 2 and 334.
Nope, good try. But if I check subtraction, what do I have to do, Braden?
You have to add 2 and 33 4 thousandths,
334 thousandths plus
3 and 174 thousandths.
3 and 174 thousandths. This would be my check. 4 plus 4 is
8,
7 plus 3 is
0.
carry the 1, 3, 4, 5. Keep the decimal. 2 and 3 is 5. Is this what I started out with?
Yep.
Does it check?
Yep.
Yes, so I have checked it. I know the answer is correct. Takes a little bit of time, but would that be effective on an assessment? Help you get a better score. Okay. So you subtract, it's doing something here. You're going to subtract this one. So I have 21 and 9/10 minus 1 and 605 thousandths. What do I do? They don't have the same number of places. What do I need to do for this, Josie?
You need put zeros on the missing spots.
Good.
Those are numbers.
Put a couple of placeholders in there. And once I've done the placeholders, is it just subtraction like normal?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So you do the subtraction. Geraldine, did you find something when you checked it? Did it check? Okay. Emmy, what should I have when I do the subtraction on this one? 20 and 295 thousandths. If that's what you got, you are correct. And if you checked it, you would know that you were, okay? As I walked around, I know there was one or two that didn't have it right, but when they checked it, they realized it and went back and figured it out. So the check is only going to help you to get a better grade, help you to be more accurate. You need to persevere and push for accuracy. Chance.
I don't get how to pronounce it.
Okay, you don't understand how to pronounce it. All right. Do you understand that this is the thousandths column or placeholder? Okay. On decimals, this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths. The next place would be 10 thousandths,
Basically,
100 thousandths. It is basically backwards. Now, the trick, though, is when you look at, once you the whole number, you just say whatever it is. This is 5. This is 2. This is 20, okay? Then, the decimal, you insert the word and, because that's what that decimal means. And once you've read 5 and, Then you say the next numbers just as you would read them normally, but you look at where the place is of the last digit. In this case, this is in the thousandths column, right? Okay. And so I read it as 508 thousandths. This one up here is 334 thousandths. 295 thousandths. If I look just at this one, what is the place of that 9? Think again. We start out in, if you look over here, we start out in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000s, 100,000ths, millionths, 10 millionths, 100 millions. So the 9 is in what place? Look at it again. It's the tenths. On decimals, we don't have the ones. We skip the ones and we start going to the tenths. Okay? And you said it's backwards. Well, look here.
Wouldn't the 21 be the ones?
This if we're going the other direction, is the ones. Do you agree? And this is 10, and this is 100, right? Hundreds. And this is thousands, right? Now here, we skip the ones column. We start with the tenths. And then we say the hundredths. And then we say the thousandths. The thousandths, okay? So the 9 is in what place? The tenths. So in this case, I would say 21 and 9 tenths. Okay? And if I'm converting from decimal to fraction, you just said 21 and 9 tenths. It's real easy to convert from decimal to fraction as long as you know how to read the decimal. And that's why we're not gonna call it 21.9 anymore. You need to practice reading it. So that'll help you in other areas, okay? Yes?
So before the decimal, it's just you add an STD and not a THS, and after it's like thousands, not thousands.
Right. After the decimal, you add the THS at the end of it, okay? These are ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. This is thousandths. You gotta put the TH on the end, okay? So what if I wrote, how would I read this one? How would I read this one? Cadence?
35 and 61,000.
35. If I was going to spell it out, this is 35. And 61 thousandths. Okay? Very good. Does that make sense? All right. Fist of 5, subtracting and adding decimals. How do you think you're doing? You ready to practice some?
Yeah.
Good. I think you are too. Let's try one more. Let's try a story problem first though, okay? Your meal at the school cafeteria costs you $3.45. Okay? Your friend's meal costs $3.90. You pay for both meals with a $10 bill. How much change do you receive? So what do I need to know first? What am I going to need to know first? How much altogether? So I'm gonna have to add my meal and my friend's meal together. That's the first thing. Gotta find out what it's gonna cost for everybody. So you're gonna add them together. Have you already added them, Josie? Okay, how much did my friend's meal and my meal cost altogether? What did it cost me, Cashton? $7.35. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Notice the dollar symbol goes in front of the 7, not behind it all. $7.35. Is that the question? Was that what I needed to answer? No. I need to find out how much change. So if I pay with a $10 bill and they take out $7.35, what's left over? What do I get in return? What is my change? What is my change, Jorlyn? Jorlyn says $2.65. Is he correct?
Yes.
So if the cashier gives me back my money, I better get this much back, correct? Is this something that you would need to know how to do to be able to keep track of your own money? Okay? You know, at Walmart's or most places anymore, the cash register tells them how much money to give back. Is the cash register always correct?
No.
Not always. What if it breaks down? Then somebody's going to have to do it by hand. And you know, in today's world, they can't do that because they don't know how. If I knew that the bill was $7.35, could I count it from the drawer back to $10 if somebody paid me $10?
Yeah.
Sure. I'd look at this and I'd say, well, 35 cents. If I added another 10 cents, it'd be 45 cents. Do you agree? So I could add a dime. Okay? And if I'm at 40 cents, or 45 cents, I'm gonna need to add a nickel. Do you agree with that? Because I'd say 7.35, 7.45, 7.50, and then I'd add a quarter and a quarter. 7.50, 7.75, $8, right? So what else do they need to give me?
$2.
Yeah, they need to give me 2 $1 bills.
Or just give me $2 bill.
We don't have too many $2 bills in circulations. So my change should be $2.65. Okay? You need to pay attention to that when you're paying for things. Because people sometimes make mistakes, and if you don't ever pay attention, you're not going to know it. Okay? Ready for some practice then? There is your assignment.